So where were we? We were in the line knight f6, and we were wondering if after this move takes bishop c4, bishop d6, knight e2, can black have this weird setup h5, h4, and that's what we're gonna see. Castle, castle, and now h5. But here, this knight is no longer pinned by a rook on e8, so white can play this. And look, this pawn is now attacked, and if black tries to defend it with h4, now it's really problematic because you have knight g6, because this pawn is pinned by the bishop, right? And then let's go one move further in the nightmare for black. Let's say that he just wants to save the rook, but unfortunately by saving the rook you lose the game, so it's gonna be checkmate on h8 very soon. Okay, well, just a funny line to show you. So this is a reminder that don't play lines automatically, please. Just this h5, h4 works in a specific context, in a specific setup, so you should always think by yourself. And now we're going to see the other line, which is g takes f6. From a pure high-level standpoint, it's clear that black should be worse here, because there are pawns everywhere, the pawn structure is ruined, but this line can really suit a player who likes piece activity. Here clearly there's a ton of theory, a lot of possible lines, so I'm just going to show you the main ones. Here the best move is supposed to be c3, after which black plays bishop f5, and you see the point, right? You've got a lot of open lines for the bishop, the rook of course will go to g8, maybe this bishop will go to h6 someday. Okay, you've got a lot of piece activity. And yeah, I'm just going to show you what happens in a basic line where white plays normally. You play like knight f3, black plays bishop g4, bishop e2, e6, castle short, bishop d6, c4, rook g8. And you know what? Here the computer says that white is much better, but honestly, here I don't feel safe at all with white. I can't play h3 because there's going to be a bishop takes h3 immediately. So those two bishops, this rook, are super scary. And like if I play, I don't know, g3, there's going to be h5, h4. Okay, I get that white is better, but it feels like I'm just one move away from losing. So this whole g takes f6 line might seem a bit weird, but it makes a lot of sense if you are a player who likes activity, okay? Which brings me to my next opening line, which is knight to d7. It was a line championed by Karpov, renowned for his positional style, very solid player. And here the idea is very straightforward. You just want to move this knight on d7 so that when you move your other knight on f6, the knight on d7 will recapture it, and so you don't have double pawns. It's really as simple as that. So typically you play knight f3, knight f6, takes, better to take here than to retreat the knight, take, and here with white you're going to try to play with the space advantage and some pressure on f7. So, and I'm going to show you in a typical line how easily and naturally things can go wrong for black. You play knight e5, e6, bishop d3, bishop e7, castle, castle, rook e1. Black wants to attack the pawn on d4, so c5 is a very sensible move. Takes, takes, queen f3, and it looks like both sides have played just normal moves, but black is really struggling here. For instance, developing this bishop is hard because bishop d7, well, you have that pawn here that would be captured by the queen. Of course, you can't play b6 because this rook is now going to be captured as well. So black has some very serious issues to solve here, and by just playing natural moves, and I'm going to come back to see where things went wrong for black. It was actually the move e6, and here black has two main moves, which are bishop e6, very unnatural, and of course the other bishop is going to fianchetto, or knight to d7. And this is the whole point. I mean, if you're playing this line with black, you have to know moves like this, knight d7, like bishop e6 that are really unnatural to play. So you have to know what you're going into. And now a very well-known move, and you will have to answer in the quiz below. If white plays queen e2, with black, should you play knight to f6 or e6? Take a moment, answer the quiz, and I'll catch you later.